One second, guys. I'm actually going to share this video over to a few different places, but this is going to be helpful for you if you work for yourself, if you find the entire thing about sales and marketing confusing. It doesn't matter the industry that you're in, even though my industry has been fitness and health and massage and nutrition for the last 20 years, and the last 10 years of that spending coaching other trainers doing the same thing as well. But if you find any of that stuff confusing, there's going to be some gold in this video. I just want to share it over to a couple of other places. Because what humans tend to do with the whole online world, I've noticed, is we make it a little bit more confusing than it needs to be by getting the tech involved, especially if you're in any kind of service industry and you're wanting to do something that's online, and then we start getting all the tech involved and, you know, websites, webinars, funnels, all that stuff, and we forget about the fact that we're human beings and we actually need a relationship with each other. And that if you have a face-to-face business and or any kind of service business, it is going to be reliant on the relationships that you have and that you develop with people, and that doing anything face-to-face has 1,000 times more powerful than even people watching a video. It just does. And if you're not game enough to make videos, that's going to be a problem. So fix that problem, because it's going to stunt your growth and you need to start. So you need to build your confidence and do whatever you need to do to get over it and do it. It's actually going to be critical. Now, having said that, I've actually coached lots of girls that have still never made a video, and they're well into the six figures, like around the 400,000 or 500,000 a year mark, without heaps of staff. So that's a really good thing, but it's still taking a lot of personal growth. Okay, yes, I'm going to share this to a page. One moment. You can skip 30 seconds on if you're watching the video on a different avenue. Why? I can't talk in person. I can't talk and multitask at the same time. Because when I do, I book flights on the wrong day when I'm supposed to be going somewhere. That's what I do. Share now. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's so interesting the way Facebook changes the way it presents things all the time, isn't it? Okay, that's now shared everywhere. I don't know if it makes any difference, but we're going to find out, aren't we? Right. So, if you have any kind of service-based business and you are offering that service to human beings, the most important thing for you to do as far as building rapport and developing relationships and helping people to get results is, one, let's presume you're already technically brilliant and you know how to get people the results in the industry that you're servicing people in, because that's the number one critical thing. Now, the reason I like ranting about this is because there are not enough technically brilliant coaches that are good at marketing. There just are not enough of them, because I'm thinking back in the day, like even only a couple of years ago, I thought, I really should do a documentary on all these trainers that I know from the industry, but I know that they don't know how to use social media. Usually. There is obviously the odd exception, especially now. The people that I work with as well are great, but, and I'm blowing my own trumpet, but it's super, super important that we don't overcomplicate things. I think that that's one of the barriers. People think, oh, I don't want to get onto Facebook, or I don't want to get onto Instagram because people are just showing pictures of their workouts and their food and all the rest of it. You will be, what I noticed as a coach, like in the fat loss industry, and actually starting to put content online, guys, if you're watching this and you're a coach and you're experienced, or you're any kind of service-based business, is that when I actually got an inquiry or a lead or whatever, they weren't cold by the time I spoke to them, or they weren't cold by the time they actually came in and did a face-to-face session with me, or they weren't cold by the time I talked to them on the phone, because they'd already consumed some of my material. So they kind of felt like they knew me, which was great. And if they didn't on purpose consume some of my material, I would actually, ask them in messages what it is that they wanted. And there's a series on YouTube that I created because, over the last 20 years in this industry of my life, I have gone fat, thin, just due to trauma, babies, injuries, whatever else. So and I've trained thousands of people and I know how to get them results with their body as well. But I made some video series that were quite personal to me on post-baby weight loss, for example, and then I joined them all together. They were in the same playlist on YouTube, right? Just kind of figured that stuff out as I went. Then anytime I was bringing somebody on that was a mother, I thought, oh, that'd be really handy for them to see that stuff. They should see that stuff because it gives them some enlightenment to know that, they're not the only one that feels that way, because you know what it's like after you've had a baby, your body's not your own, and it's the worst thing that you can do, I think, to get results with your body is complain. It just doesn't work. Just follow what you're doing, focus, and then do the thing, right? But women do tend to complain. But I can say that because I am one. So I would send these people these video series, and often they'd come back, they'd write me a message back, so, oh my goodness, I watched that, I was crying, that was so amazing, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they got all the way through. There's a lot of videos. There's 9, I think, because I talked about my perspective on training, I talked about supplements, I talked about mindset, I talked about what I've been doing in the gym, I talked about what not to bother doing. Anyway, it turns out that when you learn things about how to build an online business, that's called know, like, trust factor. Who would have known? My point is, if your underlying motive is actually to help people, you can keep that. You can keep that, and you can still grow your awareness by doing some marketing like that. Now, that kind of marketing is called content marketing. And yeah, it works. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow. So the online game, if you're doing it that way, is a little bit slow. So if you're just teaching, it's a little bit slow. But if you're not teaching online, that's step one, get online and actually start teaching. The next step to that is actually understanding the person's problems as well as they understand their problems. That's actually the next step. That can take months and weeks to get good at. And if you do a new niche, you'd be constantly evolving. Like, I've got girls that go from their normal niche maybe into menopause, or another one, she's got several different niches. Actually, they've all got several different niches. What am I talking about? It's exactly the same as, me 10 years ago. I've always got 15 projects on the go. I've done the menopause niche myself as well. My point is, each time you have a new one of those niches, you get to understand their level of pain points and what is it that you're actually going to help them with. And that's all important as well. So please don't forget that relationships are the most important thing, and that you can't just build your business, I don't think, by sitting behind a computer. You are going to have to impress upon yourself something, impress upon other people in your neighborhood, in your networking arena, in your just within your realm. Make sure people know what you do, and your business will definitely grow faster if you utilize the face-to-face factor, because human beings need relationships, and until we are living in a virtual reality world, it works 1,000 times faster than actually even just relying on videos. What am I talking about? I'm talking about network with people, whether you like it or not. Just get out and meet them. I'm talking about do seminars and workshops. That is actually the way that there's people that I coach that don't do that and they still have success, and that's fine. But that's the way that I've built my business, and I've moved a lot over the years, and gotten quite busy quite quickly, and people have asked, how did you do that? And it's actually from the whole seminar model. Do a seminar, become an expert. And I've realized that you become an expert really, really quickly, because you've actually got the balls to do the thing, and most people don't have the balls to do the thing. And you know enough. It's not a university lecture. It doesn't have to be a university lecture. So you don't have to do another course. You need to know where your knowledge ends. And where your knowledge ends, guess what? You refer out. And even just the referring out to another doctor or a naturopath or somebody else that specializes in that part of the body will force you to network. Not so that you can go to that other professional and ask them for referrals. Don't do that. Use other referrals to refer to them so that your clients can get better results, because that's at the core of what you do. Get your clients good results. Don't forget about that. Wow, what a rant. Look, I'm a trainer first and a marketing coach second. So it's super important that it doesn't matter what the right method is. I'm going to write another blog post about this. It doesn't matter what the right method is to coach people. What matters is that you learn to get them results first. And if you know how to get results first, and you're a coach or somebody that works for themselves, and you don't know how to do the marketing and sales thing, and I mean anybody, like I just had somebody send me a message there. She's like, oh my God, I've sold all 4 places in my VIP course. She's not a health and fitness coach either. She's a techie person. Anyway, the goodness is out there for you to be able to leverage on working less hours and using your knowledge and skill set to help people with whatever it is that you help people with. And it really became apparent becoming a single mum that there's less time than what you think there is. So if you've got 15 hours a week to work, you can definitely do it and you can increase your income. You've just got to structure the way you deliver things a little bit differently. Please feel free to send me a message if you've got any questions about that. Otherwise, I'll make sure there's a link on this video somewhere to make sure you're in my free group for coaches, because there's heaps of stuff in that group in relation to going online, marketing, sales, and everything to do with your business. And you can go in there and ask questions about what's the best technical course to do. Speaking of which, I'm going to post something about Mark Buckley coming to Australia and doing some really good seminars into that group. Let me know if you've got any questions. Otherwise, have an awesome weekend. It's Friday here if you're watching this video.